Hello people. So today what we're doing is we're going to be adding a invulnerability cycle to our little player here. So once we hit something or get hit by an enemy, we're going to have a little flash, and then if you watch the let's get on the player here first. And then if you watch the box collider right here, which is the trigger collider, you can see that sorry, I clicked away from it. If you watch the box collider down here, which is the trigger collider, you can see that it turns off for a little bit and then turns back on when our little, it's not really an animation, but when our flashing invulnerability ends. So yeah, thanks for joining, and let's jump right in. Okay, so today we're going to be making an invulnerability effect so that when our player takes damage, they don't immediately take even more damage, so that we have this nice little transition between that, so that they're invulnerable for just a couple frames. So to do this, we're going to take a look at our player movement script. So scripts player, and then we're going to open up player movement. Now in player movement, we're going to need a few more variables here first. So I'm going to make a new header. And I'm going to call this iframe stuff. And first I want to have a color that we're going to flash to. So we're going to make a flashing effect like Mega Man. So our color, first we'll do public color. And we'll call this flash color. We'll need a color to return back to. So public color regular color. We'll need a flash duration, so public float flash duration, which is how long we want the flashes to be. So let's see, what else we need. We need a number of flashes. Public float, this is going to be an integer. Number of flashes, and then the last thing we need is access to the player's trigger collider, which is what is responsible for receiving damage. So public collider 2D, and we'll call this trigger collider. All right, cool. So now I'm going to jump all the way down to my knockback stuff. So I'm going to create another little coroutine here that's going to be for the flashes. So this is going to be private enumerator flash co, and this doesn't take any arguments. And what we're going to do is we're going to first declare a number of flashes that we've had. So int, we'll just call this temp is equal to 0. Then we're going to say while temp is less than number of flashes. We're going to do a little coroutine here. Now the other thing we want to do is we want to take our trigger collider dot enabled equals false. So we're turning off the trigger collider. Now the trigger collider is not the one responsible for physics and colliding with things in the world. The trigger collider is the one that's responsible for taking damage and receiving knockback. So we're going to set our trigger collider to false, and then when we're done with this little flash loop, we're going to set it back to enabled. So trigger collider dot enabled equals true. Now for what the flash is going to be, we actually need one more thing. We need access to the player sprite renderer, and we can get that in here by using get component, but I'd rather cache it for performance reasons. So up here in the iframe stuff, I'm also going to get a public sprite renderer, and I'm just going to call this my sprite. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set the sprite's color to be that flash color, put a small weight, set the sprite's color back, small weight, and then increase the temporary number. So I'm going to say my sprite.color is equal to flash color, and then I'm going to wait, so yield return new wait 4 seconds, and I want to wait the flash duration. Then I'm going to set the color back. Color equals regular color. And then I'm going to wait again. Yield return return new wait 4 seconds flash duration. And then I'm going to increase the temp. So temp plus plus. All right, cool. Now the last thing I need to do is just call this coroutine from when we get knocked back. So before we do the wait time, I'm going to call start coroutine. And the coroutine I want to start is flash co. All right, cool. So I'm going to save this. Now let's jump back into Unity here. And we'll wait for that to compile, and then we'll take a look at the player. And on the player, we're going to have to set the flash color. So I'm going to set my flash color to be kind of a transparent red as soon as everything is ready here. So I'm going to go red, but I'm going to go mostly transparent. And then I'm going to set my regular color full white, fully opaque. My flash duration, I'm going to go relatively small. We'll go 0.07. Number of flashes, we'll say 4. The trigger collider is this one down here. So I'm going to attach that. And the sprite renderer is up here. So I'll grab my sprite renderer and place it right there. So I'm going to save this and let's give this a try. So we'll hit play. And I'm going to go looking for a fight. We'll test this out. All right, so keep an eye on the trigger collider down here. So I'm going to go into this room over here. And then let's pick a fight with the ogre. So see how the box collider went from being off to being back on? Oh, haha! And okay, a little bit of a physics issue there. I sent the ogre sliding. All right, cool. So, yeah, oh, it's because, the reason I did that is because my trigger collider was deactivated, which meant that my actual collider was able to push them around. So I'm going to do, this is kind of a hack. This is not a really good solution to the problem. So I'm going to go to room 2 with turret and ogre. My turret log, I think I never set this one to have a home position. So its home position is going to be 43.5. And then we'll say -3. On the ogre, I'm going to find his rigid, or her, hashtag feminism. I'm going to find their rigid body. I'm going to set their mass to something super big, like 1,000. This is kind of a hack. It's not a really good solution, but it'll work for now. So let's hit play. Let's try this one more time, just to make sure we're not sending the ogre flying. So, okay. All right, so mirror, mirror, mirror. Okay, cool. All right, so there we go. We've got some knockback. So that was actually, it's pretty simple to put in compared to what some people might think it might be. And we don't have to actually create an animation for it. We're creating that animation through the coroutine. So we didn't have to make another custom animation, because if we did, we'd have to have custom animations for if we're getting knocked back, attacking, idle, whatever. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start saving some data so that we can fix an issue that's been popping up again and again, and that is this treasure chest sometimes will still not stay open when it's supposed to be open. And we're going to fix this the proper way. We're going to go through saving data at specific times and how we can use that to read from scene to scene. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the description down below. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. You can follow me on Twitter to find out when I post new videos. The Discord is an excellent place to go. There's a lot of people who are working on some really cool extensions to this project. And yeah, otherwise, I hope everybody out there has themselves a wonderful day. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving a like, subscribing to the channel, or telling a friend who might be interested. Also, please consider following me on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can earn access to tangible rewards, like early access to videos, backer-only videos and series, polls for future topics, streams, and even individual tutoring sessions. You can find a link to that in the description. And as always, have yourselves a wonderful day.